Once again, we gather in search of the truth, dark, and mystery. It's the Drunk Turkey Show.
Big development today in the investigation into the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. According to state and local officials and court documents, 28-year-old Bryan Christopher Kohberger has been arrested. He was arrested in a raid this morning in Pennsylvania.
We have new details on what Bryan Kohberger was doing right before his arrest. Police says a tactical team burst in to arrest the Idaho murder suspect. He was in pajamas and latest gloves, stuffing trash into Ziploc bags.
Hey, greetings from the year 3000. It still sucks. This is Philip J. Fry, and you're listening to the Drunken Turkey Show. Your one stop for this sort of thing. Hit that button, like and subscribe. You know what to do, just like every other podcast.
Just like every other podcast. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the DT Show. I'm Daniel, and today we're going to be talking about the Spencer and Monique Tepe case. A couple of dentists and his wife gunned down in their home. Bodies found, I believe it was December 30th, after frantic calls from coworkers and friends who eventually showed up on scene and discovered the crime scene. The Tepes have left 2 very young children without parents. The killer left 2 very young children without their parents. Sad story across the board. A lot of speculation, a lot of theories already starting to rumble around. Today, we're going to break down some of those theories and some of those thoughts that are going out about the case and see what kind of lines up with the facts and what doesn't, and so much more. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, guys. We have a special guest tonight. We have Alina from Crime Scene Collective. How's it going?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been a couple months.
I know.
How have you
Happy
been?
New Year. Good. How are you?
Happy New Year. Happy belated or Merry Christmas. I'm
Thank you.
doing well. Doing well. It's my team made it to the playoffs, so I'll be going out there to Pittsburgh.
Thank
on
you.
Monday.
The Bills made it to the playoffs.
Hey, there's a good possibility Steelers and Bills, if both teams win, they might see each other next round. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see. Good luck.
One game at a time.
All right. Fair enough.
So how do you feel about this case? This is a new case out of Ohio. A dentist, a young man, Spencer Tepe, I think he's 37 years old. Him and his wife, just a couple of, I think, just shy of their 5th year anniversary, end up gunned down inside of their home. No real suspect, at least led out by police to the public. So we're kind of a little bit in the dark. They've kind of kept things close to the vest. They've released a few things, but how does this case strike you?
Well, this case is new to me too. I am just starting to learn about it and trying to figure out what's going on. And, honestly, when I first heard about it, it's either a lover scorned or somebody with a really crappy root canal that's not happy and really wants to get it figured out and wants to go to the source that gave him that crappy root canal, right? So whichever. But I really am thinking it's a scorned lover here, and it's just with the way these gunshots were, with from what I understand, the wife was only shot once in the chest, and then the husband was shot multiple times in their bedroom, and that's just a classic crime of passion to me. What do you think?
I'm not sure yet. I think it's possible. I think the longer this has gone, so this happened December 30th. It's been some time. The longer this goes, and I kind of said this in the Bryan Kohberger case. The longer this goes, the more than likely the person that committed this crime is further away from that circle of people. Now, a scorn lover or ex, possibly from the past, could be, quite a bit far away from the inner circle of today, because law enforcement, they're going to get an idea of all these people who were close to, both individuals, including who their exes are. Now, there's cameras in the area, And I know they've only kind of looked at a 4 or 5 block area, but this is a city. There's cameras in that area. If somebody was going to commit this crime, not only do they have to get in and out of that area, but they have to get in and out of their area. And so it wouldn't be very difficult to determine if somebody had left their home, for instance, or if they had an alibi during the hours of 2 and 5. And I believe, I mean, this is my belief here, that law enforcement would most likely start to look at those exes, those persons that they were involved in that were publicly known. Privately known, that could be a different story. You know, if there was some sort of affair going on, you know, somebody using a burner phone to communicate because they didn't want their spouse to know, that could be different. But publicly known persons who are exes and things of that nature, I think they would be fairly easy to rule out. What do you think?
Well, yes and no, because what we also do know is that police nowadays, and what they should have done always is they want to make sure they're crossing their T's and dotting their I's. They're going to rule out the mistresses and the side dudes, side chicks, everything that, these people may have going on or may not. But they also have to go through the process. They have to go through protocol and pull warrants or get warrants to be able to pull these phone records and pull, make and see if there are burner phones or extra phones. Because once they pull one phone record, they're going to see, oh, look at all these other numbers we don't recognize, and who are they? And then, it just continues to, go out further and further. And it's just like a spider web. And maybe they thought it was going to be simple, but maybe it turns out to being something more, difficult for them. And we just don't know yet. And maybe that's why it's taking a little bit longer. And you mentioned the cameras that they have, and they're searching a certain block. Would you say 4 blocks, I think?
Right.
What I
It's
did
like
see is,
a few block radius.
yeah. I did see that some of these cameras are flock cameras, and they're not able to pull the right type of footage that they're expecting to. But we did see last night that they did get, somebody in the area that didn't look like they belonged. So they're kind of following that lead on who that might be, and asking around neighbors and stuff to see if they can locate if this person is a neighbor or somebody that lives around and just went for a weird stroll at that hour, or if this is really the person of interest that they need to find and locate at this time. I do think it's the person of interest.
I think so too. I mean, if they're looking for a block radius for their cameras and things of that nature, and then they come out with this is probably one of very few people that are in the area that might be very close proximity to the residents. And we're going to look at that video, and we're going to break down some of the pieces of evidence. I think that there's a possibility that what you're saying is true. I do think that more so that this could have been a robbery gone wrong. However, when I look at the evidence and I'm looking at, this guy walking down the alley and he's not checking any other buildings, he's looking down right at the right time when the camera's there. When he gets out of the camera frame is when he looks up, and we'll break all this down. I've had an opportunity to look at the video more. It very much seems like this person was aware of where the cameras were, where to walk, and it seems like they were going to a place of direction where they knew where they were going. No sign of no sign of forced entry, things of that nature.
Because they knew the code.
Well, that's if they went through the front door. I don't think they went through the front door. He was walking through the alley. I wouldn't be surprised. And we're going to look at a video here, and I haven't seen it yet. I want to know if there's a gate back there, or if somebody had to jump the fence if they needed to. Now, from what I understand, that the 911, the person that called 911 and actually saw the body up on the second floor, had made entry through an unlocked back door. So,
I was not aware of that. I was not aware of that.
So, yeah, there's a few things, but let's break down the timeline first and foremost, and what some of the facts are of the case.
Okay.
Okay, so I put all this down together. So Spencer Monique Tepe, double homicide, timeline, transcript. So the facts: there was 3 9mm shell casings found at the scene. Now, I know that she had one gunshot wound to the chest. I'm assuming he only had two, unless the killer did attempt to clean up the scene.
I don't know if he had two because they did say multiple. I
I
would
found
think.
this. Yeah, well, it says two would be considered multiple,
Okay.
but if he did have more, if he had 3 or 4, that means either one, they couldn't find the shell casing. Number 2, this guy attempted to clean up, maybe heard the dog barking because there was a golden doodle there, maybe heard the kid screaming, got scared and took off. Or number 3, he had some sort of bag around the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when the rounds went off, it obviously created a hole in the bag. And when the killer ran off, 3 of the shell casings fell out of the hole as the person's running. So those are the pretty much, in my opinion, the three ways they got there. That if he had more, and how we're not explaining and why there's not that many shell casings there.
So somebody just said on the side that Court TV said he had 5 shots.
Okay. Well, I wasn't aware of that, but if he had 5 shots and they've only found 3 casings, well, we're missing, what is that, like 3 more?
Yes.
So
that does make sense with the cleanup then, if there was one.
Right.
And the rush.
Right. I mean, if the kids started screaming, they probably would have heard the shots. They obviously would have started crying. You have a very young baby. You know, the shots are being loud, so you would expect that person to leave at a high rate of speed. But to pick up 3 of the shell casings, maybe he just couldn't find the other 3.
Right. Yeah.
You know, when he was looking for them and felt like he didn't have enough time to find them.
Right.
You know, there's a couple of scenarios there.
Yeah. And the adrenaline, and maybe like while he's picking the 3 up, maybe he's like, you know what, maybe that's all I did is 3 shots, you know, because now it's all mucky in his head or her head. We don't know if it's a male or female, honestly, you know, and maybe at that point they really think that 3 is all they did. And once they come home or wherever they're, you know, going off to, that's when, you know, they realize, oh no, you know, I mean, we have to remember there was a sheath left behind at another crime scene too.
Right.
So it's always that, you know, that kind of afterthought that some people will realize. And that's when it's like, that's when the panic sets in.
Oh, yeah.
That's why there is no perfect crime.
No, there definitely isn't. There definitely isn't. But only 3 of the 6 casings were found, if the 5 shots is accurate. I've not seen that myself, but I'm going to take your guys' word for it that was put out
and
there.
honestly, does law enforcement have an obligation to the public? Like, if let's say they just went in and did another sweep through the house and say they found the other 3, do they have an obligation to us to be like, hey, you know what? Hey guys, we just found the other 3, you know, 6 days later, to tell us?
No.
Okay, so, you know,
No, not at
there
all.
is a chance that maybe after all this time, when they went and swept through the house again, maybe they did find 1 more, 2 more, and they're getting closer and closer, but they just don't want to let us know, the public, because it's kind of, you know, hindering the case too. So there's a chance of that as well.
Yeah. Goes on to say, no firearm found at the scene and no sign of forced entry. Law enforcement has narrowed down the time frame between 2 and 5 a.m. and a video of the person of interest has been released. Let's look at that video real quick. Have you seen the video?
Oh, so they located the person of interest in that video?
No.
Oh.
No. Just the video of the person of interest has been released. Have you seen the video?
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I was like, whoa, I've totally missed it today.
No. Have you seen the video?
Briefly. I was on the go all day today, so I apologize that I have not caught up 100%.
So this is the video. First thing that I notice is this is a tall guy. We're going to see him pass right behind this vehicle. He's having to go around it because the trunk is sticking out a little bit. And the trunk lid only goes up to about a little bit up above, right around where his thigh starts.
Okay.
And so he's a taller guy. He's looking straight, but then he looks down. So he's looking down already. And then, so I'm gonna play it through. So he's looking down. It appears he's still looking down. And then right about there's when he starts to look up, right at the end.
Huh. Yep.
So right here, it's kind of hard to tell. Let me remove the QR code. Give me a second.
And he like fixed his hat even, like, or almost like did something with it.
So he's now looking straight right there at the end. And so see right here, it's down. And then head comes up. Now, is his head down the entire time because he's aware of this camera?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, a couple other things I've noticed is, like I said, right here, look at where the back end of that trunk goes up to his leg.
Yeah.
That's a tall guy.
Yep.
And then look at the way he steps. Look at his foot before it lands. It's like his toe is pointing straight up.
Yeah, it's like a...
Now, a lot of people were wondering, why would he be walking like this? What do you think he could be doing?
He's changing his pattern of footsteps.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
That's what I thought. Expect towards one part here. See right there. It looks like his right leg kind of kicks out.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying. And then that
maybe
see,
he's
that,
even
that
wearing
pattern
shoes
looks
that
weird.
don't fit him.
That's what I was wondering too. Could he be wearing shoes that don't fit him, and he's trying to do the whole "if the shoe don't fit, you must have quit" type of thing?
Interesting.
But I don't think he's trying to hide his footprints. A lot of people are saying maybe he's trying to hide his footprints. If he was trying to hide his footprints, he'd be walking, I guess, on the edges of his feet.
He would walking zigzag, or he could.
Yeah.
Other ways, but...
Walking like this. If you try to walk like this, you're putting like the full print of your footprint.
Yeah.
You're making more of a footprint walking this way than not. I wondered if he was trying to hide a gait. And so we have him looking down, him walking funny, possibly hiding a gait.
Yeah.
This kind of leads to me like somebody's
going to recognize that. Yeah. And he's trying to make sure nobody will recognize that.
Well, what kind of person is aware of that, hey, they might notice my gait?
A person that's going to either on their way to, is this on the way to the house or on the way back?
Don't know. They haven't released that, but what type of person to you would be the type of person that would have this in mind? Like, I have to be aware of my gait.
Yeah.
Criminal or a criminologist or somebody who's really looked into like true crime stuff. Maybe somebody who's inspired by some of these true crime channels that have looked at gaits and things of that nature and kind of know that, because I think this was way premeditated.
That's what I was literally was waiting for you to finish. I was going to say, and this is where if they can prove this, there's their premeditation on it.
Oh yeah, no, I think there's a lot to be premeditated. So if we were to go back now that's just the way he's walking, the way he's looking. Look at what he's not doing. What he's not doing is he's not looking at anybody's car. He's not looking at anybody's house. He's not looking around for something to steal.
Yeah. Somebody also mentioned that he was wearing, I believe it's my buddy Karen here, saying that he was wearing a medical face mask.
He may have. It's hard to tell from this image.
It's hard to tell, yeah. I saw somebody too in one of the groups that they like they did like a, how people just take these videos and they try to alternate them and do all this like, magical stuff with their computers. And somebody did a slow-mo thing, and they did a video where it kind of looked like he was looking to the side, and they made it look to where he was looking to the side and he had like cat sunglasses on and all this stuff, and he was like literally looking right at the camera, and I was like, come on, like, so now he's wearing sunglasses in the middle of the night and we can see everything else on his face. Get out of here, but people run with this stuff and they love it, but that's not what we see here. So I guarantee you guys, he's not wearing sunglasses. I promise you. Well, I mean, I don't promise you, but I don't think so.
No, at most it kind of looks like there's a point right. I mean, it's kind of really hard
like
to see.
a baseball cap.
Like a baseball cap. Yeah.
Or like a winter hat with one of those rims on it,
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like it has a hood, and it's kind of, if
Yeah.
anything, like right there, that right there kind of looks like he's pulled the strings on the hood, so it makes the
Yep.
face, where you can see the face smaller. He's kind of walking weird.
He's changing. Yeah. And then that. That part was kind of weird too, but I don't know.
But yeah, this guy's definitely, like I said, I think he's taller as well. Like the trunk goes, like his pocket is above the trunk.
Go back to where he's in front of the garbage can so I can see how he measures up to that. So right to his back pocket, just about.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
I know the angle might make it look a little bit different. You know what I mean, because of the angle. But
Yeah, but
he's still his waist is way above the
yeah.
trunk lid. And a trunk lid, I mean, I'm about 6'5", 5'11". The trunk lid comes up to, like on a car, probably come up to like my belly button area. And
Yeah.
that's way I would say he's closer to 6'3".
I think you're right. And you can just tell by the jeans too. Like they're
Mhm.
not shorter jeans. It's definitely like a 32 or a 34, I mean.
Yeah. Dude seems to have longer legs.
Mm-hmm. That right
And
there.
this
You could just
definitely,
tell he just opened his legs to like do a wider gait right there.
yeah. And some people were saying that maybe perhaps this could be a tall lady. Do you think this looks like a lady's figure? I don't.
I mean, I've seen some questionable women and men. So, hold on, just let me see it again when they kind of walk and go all the way. Hold on. I have to see the back part. Honestly, if I had to think if it was a woman, I'd say 40% of me thinks it's a woman, only based on when they're doing that hat kind of thing. Because only a woman would kind of fix themselves in a manner like that. I feel like a man doesn't really care that much.
You see, something bothered me about this step here, and I think I see it. I think this person is pigeon-toed, and they're trying to avoid that being detected. Because right there, look at that. Look at the way his foot turns in.
Yeah, I see it.
Look at how his foot turns in.
Mm-hmm. You're right, and that's what they're trying to
I think they're
disguise.
trying to disguise the
Yeah.
pigeon toe.
And it could be something that they know is like a big, something that they have been made fun of their whole lives, or something that sticks out about them. And in their mind, they're like, that's one thing that I definitely have to disguise about me. Right.
Yeah,
And it might just be
exactly.
very minor, but they know that it's a big thing about themselves,
Exactly.
which could lead us back to a brother or sister kind of thing too.
Because even right there on that step looks weird. Like it looks like they're trying to prevent the toes from right there. It's that step too.
Can we see what his feet are doing before the garbage cans to see if he's already doing it before he sees the cameras? Oh, it goes to that.
You know what? I think I have it here. Yeah, no, as soon as it.
Okay, what about when he turns? Because you can see him turn a little after. Somebody said it looked like he sneezed too. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's turning his feet in.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this guy might be pigeon toe. I think his toes are coming inward.
Or you think he is pigeon-toed, or you think he's purposely making himself be pigeon-toed to change his gait, because he normally walks like this, but he's changing it to walk like this. So
no, because I don't think it's, I mean, I could be wrong, but if you try to walk pointing your toes upward, like the way this person is doing, like look at that angle, how high that his toe is right before it touches the ground. Like to me, that's uncomfortable. Now, I mean, that's uncomfortable for me. That may not be uncomfortable for everybody, but uh, to me, that seems unnatural. And I think that is the disguise. I think they're trying to walk that way to hide the gate.
Yeah.
Someone's saying it's also icy. He's trying not to fall. Um, what if he wasn't from the area and he's not from an icy location? Would you expect? Well, he's walking kind of quick. I would expect somebody not to walk as
Yeah, if you're not
this
from the
quickly.
area, you wouldn't be walking that fast.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're not from the area, what are you doing out at that hour by yourself?
Well, I mean, like Bryan Kohberger, he went from Pennsylvania to Washington over the summer. And so it was his first winter there. Although he's from Pennsylvania, he's probably accustomed more towards the icy
Yeah.
elements. But is it plausible that somebody had came from a different location, maybe a warmer location to this area earlier on in the year? And because I'm wondering, what are the chances that this could be a Bryan Kohberger, somebody who, for whatever personal reason, decided to commit a crime and just for the sake of committing the crime?
I mean, it could be, but I don't know. My confusion is, and you know more about this case than I do. I'm literally just catching up on it in the last several days. But from what I understood, is that somebody used a keypad to get inside the house. I thought it was through the garage, and then they locked the door on the way out. But what you're saying is that they just broke in, or there was an unlocked door. And from it being just like a crime, a break-in that kind of went awry or whatnot, using a keypad just doesn't work with a break-in or, somebody like a Bryan Kohberger kind of situation. And then locking the door behind definitely doesn't work with a break-in or a Bryan Kohberger situation either. So I would
Yeah.
have to get clarification on that part.
Okay.
And
We'll
I
go through
honestly
that
don't
because I
know.
have that here.
Oh,
So,
okay. All right.
so we'll
Sorry,
go.
I'm always jumping ahead.
No, it's okay. So we'll go through it. So the first call came from, it was at 9:03. Dr. Mark Valrose, owner of the Athens Dental Depot, calls 911 on a welfare check. He calls because he cannot be reached. Now, I believe this guy was in Florida and he got a call. He owns, I guess, partially owner. And I guess everybody was calling him saying, hey, we can't get a hold of him. You have patients that are lining up. So they try to get in contact with the doctor, with Spencer, and they couldn't get in touch with him. Neither could I guess the other owner of Athens Dental. And so he called in just to do a welfare check because not only could he not get a hold of Spencer, but he couldn't get a hold of Monique, his wife.
Right.
And that just kind of goes into that, like, hey, that's basically the gist of what they're going to it's out of character. And so at 9:22, officers arrived because of that at the residence. They knocked on the front door and the back doors and looked through the windows. So the back door was not left like ajar. It was not like wide open. It may have been unlocked. And I looked through the windows and didn't see anybody. And this is what the officer had stated on the dispatch. At 9:57, another 911 call comes in. A different person, a friend or coworker who went to the residence, calls 911. This goes on to say the dispatcher goes, okay, what's the emergency? The male friend says, maybe both, because they asked for police or medical. He goes, maybe both. I don't know. I'm kind of doing a wellness. And then dispatch goes, we already have had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times and there was no answer. The male friend goes, yeah, no answer. I can hear the kids inside. And this is where I think a lot of people are probably, and rightfully so to a certain extent, crucifying the law enforcement because they didn't, I guess, figure out this, notice the scene. Now, I will say they're limited to what they can do. But hearing kids crying inside, nobody coming up to the door,
Right.
I think that could have led to some exigent circumstances.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And they had several calls at this point too. So when the first officer went there, my understanding that they had like, I think 3 calls or 2 calls for the wellness check. So for him to just kind of walk around and knock on a door and not kind of have all of his senses kind of, hyper hyper aware to let's see what's going on here, and other people hearing a child, that just kind of is like it hurts my soul, like I have children, and it's like, man, I hope that never, I pray to God that never would happen to me or anybody I know or anybody again. Honestly, it doesn't even need to be anybody I know, but this is who we count on to help us and to save us, or to, be there to assist us, and to know that children were literally screaming for help and the police were there and they left, it's disheartening.
I completely agree. I was pretty upset when I was reading this and also listening to it.
Yeah, I heard it. This is the call I heard, and I could not believe it. And the 911 operator, they were like, we were already there. And it's like, will you listen to them? The guy is saying, I can hear a child in the house.
Right. And they were like, oh, well, there's a lot of reasons. And I get it. There's a lot of reasons people can not miss work and things of that nature. But when you have multiple people calling in, this means that it's out of character.
Right.
You know what I mean?
One of the operators said maybe they just didn't want to go to work. Like, sure. But in today's economy and today's life, like, this is a dentist. A dentist is just not going to show up to work. Like, they have patients that are depending on them. They take an oath, like, it's not like they're not like just not showing up to a gas station or just some, job that they don't know, like if it's going to be there the next day. Like, this is a professional with a career that, why would they just kind of, throw it under that it's not important, and maybe they just didn't want to show up that day. Nowadays, people are showing up because they have to. Everybody needs to show up to work. We can't afford not to.
Yeah, I got a couple of super chats. I got Steven coming in saying, go Steelers, welcome back DK Metcalf. Not saying he'll have a big, huge game, but he'll be playing
Go Bills.
His tail off. Thank you, Steven, for the 20. And then the next 20 also, John Harbaugh can walk his way out of the AFC North and never come back. We'll see. Apparently, he might be going to the Browns, but we'll see. Thank you, Steven, for the $20. We appreciate that. The 2 donations. Thank you so much. And then we also have a newest member coming in.
Karen.
Class mass. So
That's
after
Karen.
the show, I'm going to put up the link for the Discord for our new members, so that way you can become part of the Discord and the communicate and the conversation. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you guys. All right. So this goes on to say that the dispatcher says they're going to send back the law enforcement out there. The third 911 call comes in at 9:58. Female coworker saying that the boss hadn't reported to work. Dispatch says, all right, they just talked to somebody. And she's like, I'm just making sure somebody called. So, she took offense to it as well. A fourth call comes in a few minutes later. And at this point, the male has made entry. Oh, crap. I moved forward too far. All right. There it is. Sorry about that. I lost my mouse there. There you go. Fourth call comes in at 10:03. At this point, a male friend has made entry into the home via the back door. We know this because when law enforcement arrives, the dispatch log notes an open back door with 3 males inside. You can also hear at least one of the children crying in the background. Dispatch audio transcript showing 3 males were inside. In quotations, there was a 7A on the back door. I have 3 males inside. They're doing a check. So if someone can stop them. So I know there was a keypad up in the front. I don't know if there was one in the back, and if it was unlocked to the point, because there was no sign of forced entry. So we can only assume that they didn't force entry into the home either, that the back door was most likely unlocked.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
When the perpetrator left. I can't say that it was locked. I would assume that it was left unlocked. We're going to look at a video here in a minute about the, titanium built. She had gone out there. She walked the alley. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see if there's like a gate that somebody can walk in. And if there's not, and the only way to get into the back door is through like the garage. Cause like, if you look at it, you have the main house and then you have the backyard behind it and it's all fenced in. Mm-hmm. And then behind that is a garage that goes into the alley. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have your garage door closed and there's no gate coming in from the alley, I could give you some sort of false pretense to not lock your back door because of the accessibility to the back door.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? There's not like a gate for somebody to walk back there. And
right.
So I wonder if that's how this ended up going.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And you said you have a video of?
Yeah,
of
we got a
the?
video of a titanium built. She's a YouTuber also. She walked around the area.
Oh,
So
okay. I saw that. I saw that somebody went over there, so that's who it was.
yeah.
That's who it is. Okay, yeah, I heard that somebody went over there and took a video of the area, but I didn't know who exactly it was. Okay, I see.
Yeah, and then Axeman also, he's saying that the fence is easy to climb, and it is. We've looked at a couple of images. The way they had the fence set up was they had it so that the framing of the fence was on the outside, so that on the inside of the fence, all you saw were the boards,
Oh,
and
okay.
so on the outside, because you had the frames, you could climb up
Oh,
over it,
okay, yeah.
but it would be difficult to get out of it. You're gonna have to jump over the fence again.
But
Uh,
but if
and
you're
that
inside, you can just unlatch the door and walk out.
I don't think there's I mean, you'd have to. I think maybe go through the garage, but we'll
We'll
watch because
see.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not familiar. And we have Christine coming in with $10. Thanks for keeping. After this is going to be solved. I sure do think so as well. I think so.
I
All right.
agree.
So this goes on to say 911. What's the location of your emergency? And this is the fourth friend. 1411 North 4th. Okay, we've got several calls. What's changed since the last person I talked to? Very rudely. There's a body. There's a body. There's a body inside. Yeah. And then dispatch goes, hold on 1 second. Let me get you on the line with the medic. And then the medic picks up and says, the friend says, there's a body. Our friend wasn't answering his phone. So we just did a wellness check. We came in here and he appears to be dead. Medic says, okay. Friend says, there's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood. We can't get closer to see more than that. So this tells me that he was probably, which is interesting, because this probably means that Spencer was closest to the door.
Yeah. Like, how do you feel he was? I think he was just like had legs on the floor and upper body on the bed.
Well, I don't think he was on the bed. I think he was on the floor. But I think because they didn't see her, so my assumption is that she was either in the bed or on the other side of the bed on the ground where you couldn't see from the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and it's possible that she was in the bed on the floorway. Now, I know that a lot of people are looking at him having shots to his chest and multiple shots as being a possible sign of him being the target. And I don't disagree that could be true. It also could be that he shot her first. He got up and went towards her, and in his adrenaline, and that the killer took multiple shots.
Right.
Now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not sure how far in psychology you've gone, but who do you think, if the killer had a target in mind, do you think that killer's taken his time and shooting the target first or second?
They're incapacitating the screamer, which is the wife, and I think they're killing. No, I think they're. Hold on, let me just think on it this for a second. I mean, you just don't know, because I feel like if she's coming at the person like, no, they'll just go like that, like, shut up, boom, and then go to the person that they're really there for, right? And be like, now I'm going to get all my anger out on you because you're really who I'm here for. And boom, 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 5 times, And she just could have been a loud voice that was in that person's ear, like, you know what, like, just be quiet here. And took care of that with that one shot. And that's why there was only one shot, and then went for, the prize.
Mm-hmm. And folks are asking, where was she found? She was found in the bedroom. I found a report saying that they were both found in an upstairs bedroom, but don't say where in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So it said Monique and Spencer were both found in the upstairs bedroom.
And they're also not releasing a time of death yet, right? Or have they done that?
They're saying they're looking for information between 2 and 5 a.m. And so a lot of people are assuming that it's between that time frame. But I mean,
so she was shot on her side, and it went through her chest. Thank you, Shani T9, and I missed it, 78, I think.
You see, and so I mean, I don't know where she because if she was in the bed, I would assume that's possibly visible from the door. I think you would be able to see her there. I think she may have fell out of bed,
Hmm.
but um, I don't know. I mean,
And like maybe like when they walked, like I don't know the position of the room, but maybe they shot her and she fell between the wall and the bed, and just so she can't call 911,
I mean,
and took care of that, and then went to him.
it could have been like maybe perhaps they were heard, or Spencer heard something in, maybe going up the stairs or something, and like got out of bed and was getting out of bed when the intruder walked in, and he just took the 5 shots because he was walking towards him. And then
Right.
Monique gets up and he immediately turns the gun in that direction, shoots, and then turns around and runs. But in that scenario, there's not a lot of time to pick up 3, casings.
Yeah. I mean, after.
Because if you're shooting Spencer the first time and it's 5 shots and you're only shooting Monique once and you're not making sure that she's, dispatched. I don't want to be ugly. You're not making sure of that like you did with Spencer. That sounds like you're leaving it, quickly. You're you're panicking. You're going. You don't have time to do that. Don't sound like you have time to pick up shell casings, which is why I thought, is there a world where he had something around the gun, like a bag of some sort, thinking he's going to be able to, collect the shell casings, when they're being extracted from the gun as he's firing, and as he runs, you turn. When you run, the gun's going to face downward. That's where the hole is, because that's where the gun pointed, was pointing out. Could a couple of shell casings fallen out at that point?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think.
And I don't know if Spencer was shot more than twice. Some folks were saying that Law and Crime TV that he was
Court
shot
TV
5.
said 5 times. Yeah.
But I didn't see that from Court TV myself, so
Yeah,
I
I
don't
didn't
know that
either.
to be true.
Everywhere I looked, all they said was multiple times. So I haven't seen anything more. All I know, they said firmly she's one and him multiple, anywhere that I have read or looked up on this case. So 5 times. That's the first time I heard about it, was when somebody just mentioned it in the chat.
And if she was shot from the side and into the chest, out the chest, that sounds like she turned to run away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're shooting from the back of the side, and it's coming out the front.
Right. And so maybe it was the whole, you're not going to call 911. I'm going to incapacitate you right now. And then I'm going to go for why I was here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it very well could be that they both kind of got up out of bed, were kind of looking, and then this person walked in and surprised them.
And honestly, for this person, if they knew who they were, this is the other thing I kind of was thinking about, and knowing if they knew who they were, then they would know that they have the 17-month-old child and the 4.5-year-old child, right? A 4.5-year-old could potentially know how to dial 911. So, they would have to have thought about that. It's not like it's a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old. It's like a preschool or a kindergartner. This child is definitely going to school somewhere, and that's something that you learn. I mean, my kids knew how to do that. And so for me, I would think this person should have thought that like, you know what, sure, the 17-month-old isn't going to, call, but there is a chance that what if the 4.5-year-old knows how to pick up a phone and dial 911, and the cops can be after me in the next 15 minutes. I got to get out of here. So I don't know, like that would have crossed, honestly, if I did something like that, that would have crossed my mind if I knew that there was a 4-year-old, even if I knew there was a 3-year-old in the house, because we just don't know what these kids are doing these days. If they're online nonstop, if they're on an iPad nonstop, and, or what if it's like a little young Sheldon and they just know what to do? We just don't know. And this person felt confident enough that these kids were not going to be capable of that or something, and they committed this crime.
Very possible.
Or they didn't even know kids were there. We don't know. And maybe this person, like you said, it could be a Bryan Kohberger, that they didn't even know the whole circumstance of the house, and the kids were a surprise factor.
Well, Bryan Kohberger left 2 people alive too.
He did.
And 2 people and 1 person saw him.
Yeah.
So let's see. This goes on to say the medic, can you tell if he's obviously not breathing or anything? Friend says, yep. Medic goes, it's kind of like puddles, does he look like? And he goes, it's puddled. I can't look. I mean, you're kind of victimizing this guy, in my opinion. Just get there. I get it. You're trying to figure out if this guy's going to be able to be savable or not, but just get there.
I know they were asking so many questions constantly.
Yeah. And then he goes
and
on
I know
to say,
that's their job. I know that. And it's just sometimes it's like, come on, just call the police while you're asking these questions.
Exactly. Goes on to say, I understand. When was the last time we spoke to him? He said yesterday, I suppose. How old is he? He said 37. The medic asked if he was like on drugs or anything like that. He said no. He's like, all right, because that's a really young age. Oh, like he's shot.
Right. And like, it's so what if he is on drugs? There's still a body there. Can we get somebody over here?
It's not like that.
No drugs.
It's not that. He's like, well, we're going to look past the gunshots. Maybe he overdosed. That's like that part. Like when I read this and I was going through this and I heard it's like, oh, well, it's because he's really young, to have died.
It made no sense. The back and forthness of this just was so irritating because we knew these children and these bodies were just there.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And they want to talk about it. It's like, we can talk later.
Yeah, exactly. Here's an interesting thing, though. This is the front of their house. Check this out.
Okay. Yeah, that's the other question I had. Do we know if there was a ring cam or nest?
There was on the front. And so it appears that this guy was walking through the back. And so if he walked through the back, he may have known. And I'm assuming it's a he at this point. Oh, you know what? I wanted to play this 911 call and show a couple of things, though, first. Because I'm going to show this part first, and then I'm going to play a 911 call. Because a lot of people were thinking that this has something to do with this. There was a 911 call not too long ago. Spencer's brother-in-law, Rob, cleared it up in a recent YouTube video titled Ohio Double Murder, where he said, Bill here, this is classic Fox News, just absolutely fumbling the bag. This call was made years ago by a woman who freaked out after taking an edible. Obviously not Monique's voice. Fox News, you are disgusting. On YouTube show from Tuesday, January 6, 2025, Rob said anyone can compare the voice of Monique in her wedding video to the woman on the 911 call and realize it wasn't Monique who placed the call. Oh, well, I got both of those videos. We'll do that. Let's listen to what the call sounded like.
But they're saying it's not Monique and it's not her voice.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why Fox is saying that it is.
Yeah.
But I'll play it just to play it so we can hear what it is. But the brother-in-law is saying it's not hers. So if you're hearing this out in the future, brother-in-law is saying this isn't real.
Cattle.
You can hear it, right?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, this is 911. We just got a hang-up call. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're crying. Do you need police, paramedics, or anything?
No, I'm okay. I promise. I'm just emotional. I'm okay. I don't need nothing.
Well, can I ask what had you call 911 in the first place? Like, were you having an argument with somebody?
Me and my man got into it, but I'm okay. I promise.
Did anything ever get physical?
No.
You guys were just arguing, nobody hit each other?
Yes.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I have the information here. I can go ahead and tell the officers to cancel heading over to your address there.
Yes.
If anything changes, call us back.
Okay.
I probably would have sent an officer anyways, just kind of based on what I was listening to.
Yeah.
But so that's the 911 call. Again, brother-in-law says that's not Monique. It says listen to her voice.
Yeah. And apparently they were having a gathering at their house, and it was somebody else that called from the house that just got, too high or too drunk or something. And it was just, somebody during that little thing that they had going on or something. And that's who it was. Hopefully that person will come forward and be like, hey, that was me. And I can't handle an edible.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully so.
Beautiful heart. I will love you forever, and I'm so lucky to be Mrs. Tepe.
By the power of this.
I mean, I'm not a voice analyst, so I don't know, but I mean, she was crying, and
that's true.
It's different. Everyone sounds different. And if this person ate an edible, I mean, I don't know about you, but if I eat an edible, I'm a different person too. So who knows?
I hadn't compared them. This sounds close.
Led me to you. Throughout.
Oh, she's crying here.
Yeah.
I knew that God was guiding me to my person, and that when I met him, it would be the most magical thing ever.
All right, let me go back to the 911 call. Give me a sec.
Hi, this is 911. We just got a hang-up call. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm okay.
Yeah, I don't know. The pattern of speech sounds a little bit different to me.
Does it?
The way she talks, yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're crying. Do you need police, paramedics, or anything?
No.
Like, they sound like they're from two different areas.
They could be. I don't know. It sounds similar to me, I'll be honest with you. But I'm not a voice recognition pattern detector or anything like that.
Is there any, like, are there any, like, friends of theirs that are coming out? Because family's going to say one thing. Family's always going to protect, and especially in the beginning. But what about, like, friends of theirs and stuff like that, especially, like, people that were at this little get-together, because that was, a month ago that this 911 call was made, and that was at 2:45 in the morning on a Tuesday. So they were having a get-together on a Tuesday, and people were still hanging out at 2:45 in the morning, right? So hopefully some of these people can come forward, or, at least get some character witnesses here to speak to them, or speak to how they were as a couple, or, as people, as humans, and I know we'll get a lot of answers that way too. But I wholeheartly feel that this is a mistress or a side dude kind of thing. And
it could be. I mean, I just think that if that existed, we don't know if anything was taken or missing, but if their phones and all their electronic devices and all those things remained, figuring out a mistress or a Sancho, however you want to call it.
Sancho.
A Sancho. Yeah. Those aren't hard to figure out who those folks are. And once you've got their name, like I said, there's certain things that have to happen. They have to leave their house. They got to travel. They got to get there. They got to get back. There's a lot of things that go into play. Now it's not a short time. It's been over a week, but it's not a long time either, where they're still gathering information. Steelers fan makes an excellent point, says, if you're crying because your joy, it's meaningful, it hits you differently. So the crying and the voice, could it sound differently because of the situation? This is a joyful cry versus more stressful cry from the 911 call. I think that the audio sounds pretty close. Now, that doesn't mean anything. Everybody has, issues. People argue, things like that happen. And even if it was her, it doesn't mean that obviously that led to, how does that lead to them both their lives being taken?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would make sense if, like, they found the weapon there, and then maybe perhaps he had like a murder-suicide type of situation. Then you could look at this 911 call and say, hey, this looks or sounds like it could be related to some issues, some red flags here as to why or what happened here.
Yeah.
Given the result, given the guns not being there and those type of things, I don't think that's going to be the case.
Well, do we know if either one of them were gun owners?
I don't know. It's good. It's a good point. Good question. I don't know.
So we don't know if they were gun owners and if this gun belonged to them and it's just not in the house, or
Yeah.
anything like that. And if there was a gun safe, like, like those stuff, we just don't know yet. And this is again, like why they are kind of being tight-lipped. As far as the Sancho or Sanchera, theory, like I also kind of feel like maybe they were texting in bed, with their
Side piece.
Sanchero, and maybe they were like, hey, let's have a quick session or a sesh, or let's talk real fast, and they're like, no, I can't, he's right next to me or she's right next to me, and they're like, maybe at this point they were fed up with it, or just they really wanted it or something, and they were just pissed, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to take care of this right now, and marched over there and took care of it. It's just, you just don't know what's on somebody's mind when they're feeling that passion, and that's why it's called, crime of passion. And
Right. And I don't disagree with you there, but I think that there's some evidence here that would have been pointing into that direction. Like, for instance, somebody who's lost it in that manner and has lost their final straw, they're at their wit end, rage has consumed them of passion. They're not parking down the street. They're parking right there. They're not cautiously entering into the building. There's the sounds and the act of the behavior of rage. We're going to have some kind of evidence of that. That's why, to me, when I look at this case, I'm almost concerned that this could be just a person.
You think it's random?
I think that it could be, because I think that if it's anybody that is like close like that, like an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, if we know about them, law enforcement's known about them and have already talked to them and investigated them. They know where they're at.
Yeah.
And so, to me, the fact that they're going out there and they're putting out pictures and videos, and we have a guy walking in the alley, he's not looking at any other houses, not looking at any other buildings. He doesn't have like a sack with him or something that you're going to expect him to steal. He's not, he's not apparently going for anything large, because he didn't bring his vehicle with him. I don't think he's going to be running around with a, 85-inch TV strapped to his back. And so, those things, plus no sign of ransacking, because, they say they don't have a motive. Now, this is if they're being honest at this point. At this point, they can, not be completely forthcoming, they being law enforcement. This is early enough in the investigation that they're going to hold a lot of things close to the vest, and maybe perhaps even deflect some things or make some things look a certain way. But it sounds like there's no motive. If they ransack the house, you have some sort of motive of robbery. And so it sounds like, both of their bodies were found near their bedroom, or in their bedroom near their bed. This isn't somebody that was let into the house and then something occurred. This is somebody that made their way into their house and found their way into their bedroom. And then that's where this occurred. So those things here, plus, you look at the fact that they're walking down the alleyway instead of, where the cameras are, not taking a vehicle up there, using these weird steps to walk. It just seems very calculated.
Yeah, I know. So that's why it confuses me that you think it was a robbery.
I don't think it's a robbery.
So then what do you think? Am I missing what you're saying?
I think this could possibly be like a Bryan Kohberger time.
Okay, yes.
Calculated.
But then there
person.
still has to be an angle, right?
Does there?
And that's where the randomness doesn't. Well, with Bryan, there was an angle. Like he was trying to fulfill his, like, not fetish, but he was trying to fulfill like what his, he's a criminology student and this is what he's studying, and he's trying to commit the perfect crime. So he's trying to fulfill this, like, this whole ideation thing in his head that he is going to commit the perfect crime in the world, right? So what is their angle? Like what?
I mean, it could be a lot of things. It could be something similar to Bryan Kohberger. Like I said, the fact that he was changing his gait, which I think is apparent, when it looks like he's pointing his toes up, and and it appears when he gets out of view that his foot starts to curve back in, his head starts to come up. So this person is aware of that camera, at least. So it seems like they've done some casing. I think they knew that they were going to be on camera one way or another, and where they were, and we're trying to make it seem like, trying to change their gait.
Yeah.
That's a lot of forethought to go into it. If you're going to that degree of planning, there's a lot more planning you've done. I mean, this isn't something that was just, brought up in a spare moment 5 minutes before the crime happened. This is somebody, it appears, that may have really put some thought process into this, to do that aspect. If that's what he's doing, I mean, he could just be walking that way. That could be his gait. But to look down in front of the cameras, have their, to know that there's a camera there, and to be walking that way so that you can't tell their gait, there's a lot of planning involved in this.
Yeah. I just had another thought too, because we don't know if this video is taken, if this is the potential suspect. We don't know if this video was taken on the way to the house or on the way back, right?
Yeah.
So what if he's kind of also walking a little distorted because this is on the way from the crime, and maybe there was a struggle and he's hurt, and he doesn't want to walk away as the hurt person, walking as a hurt person away from a crime, because that would cause a red flag on this person too. Like, hey, look at this guy dragging his leg, walking away from, a house that just had 6 gunshots blown off in it,
I mean, if you're concerned to that point, you're probably running. You don't want to be the guy being seen anywhere near, because if somebody heard it, called the cops, law enforcement are on the way, you got to get out of there. You got to get out there as fast as you can. I think we would have seen him probably running. If we've looked at, like, for instance, some of these other persons that have committed crimes, like Brown, or you look at Charlie Kirk, or some of these other guys, they're walking there, running out.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm thinking that's why we really would need to know. To me, that looks like the video of him approaching the residence, not on the way out. Like, there's just no way that's the exit video. Like, no way.
Yeah, I don't think so. But if it was him leaving, if he was a robber, that could explain why he's not looking at other buildings or, checking doors or things of that nature, because he's already committed a crime trying to get out of there. But I think that was on the way.
Yeah, I do too. I really do. Because he's still, he's still walking kind of slow. His head's still down. Like, he's still covering himself up. There's no anxiousness and, just urgency to get out of there, which we're familiar with,
And an interesting point by Steph C comes in, says, if you go to that degree of planning, you probably know they have children too.
Yeah.
Do you think that the assailant knew that there was 2 kids there before they entered that house?
It depends on which theory it is, right? Like, I think if it was a robbery, then no. I think if it was a planned attack, like with the Bryan Kohberger thing, then yes.
A scorned lover would be also, right?
A scorned lover, absolutely. And that's why they left the kids alive and came in at that hour too, maybe, because the kids were definitely asleep and there won't be any issue with that, right? I'm not sure. It's also kind of, I don't know, now I'm thinking of it too, with that hour, because it's between 2 and 5. And it's kind of, so this happened on Monday, right? And then their call came in a month ago on a Tuesday at 2:45.
Interesting.
So I think another thing, and I'm sure the police are doing this, is what is his typical schedule? That I think that would be important to know, like, which days are, like, is it that he's always on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then his partner has Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the office, you know? So
Yeah.
then we know wife is alone on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then she knows he's home on those days. So is this why maybe these are the times that either she's alone or he's alone? And that's why there's always, like, so far we see a pattern with chaos kind of happening during these Monday, Tuesday days, you know,
Yeah.
and it kind of being contentious. So I think that's something too. What about the reports of the garage being broken? Did you hear anything about that?
I have not. That would be
From a
interesting.
few
So,
days earlier. So
got
garage
you.
being broken from a few days earlier, I have.
I haven't heard that yet. If that happened, that's interesting because that means somebody is trying. It's possibly trying to set up a way of getting into the property. Now that would be
Or had
even
already
more.
tried once and failed, and now this is their second attempt.
That's possible too. That's possible too. You're absolutely right there.
Yeah.
Well, let's watch this.
Okay.
I want to see what Titanium says, and I want to see when she walks through the alley.
Okay.
Everybody. So I'm gonna flip you guys around so you can see where I'm at. I am on the corner of 9th and I think this is 8th. So I'll have to double check that actually. But their house is the one that's on the corner, the second one in. We're going to take a little trip. So basically what I want to do is go this way and let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I know it's kind of hard because of the traffic, but
So she's going around the back. She's
what
going to
else?
walk the way that the
Vincent, we're
person.
looking today and we were trying to figure out the camera, where that camera could be. You know what we could do? I didn't even think about this. We could go on Google Maps tonight on our live if we don't find it.
And go follow
So-
and subscribe to
This
Titanium
is their
Bill,
alley, right? Yeah, I think
And Crime Scene Collective.
Crime
so
Scene
it's not down
Collective.
there.
Yeah, I have Crime Scene Collective's Facebook, or is it your TikTok and your
Yeah.
Facebook group that you mentioned or that you made? It's linked in the description, guys. So go and click those links in the description. It's also linked in the live chat. That's what's pinned at the top. It'll have not only Crime Scene Collective's TikTok, but it'll also have the Facebook group referencing this case. It's an up and coming group. You want to be a part of it. I'm in there, so go check it out and be a part of that.
Come
So-
join us. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sirius is on it. There it is.
So I'm kind of surprised on what this neighborhood looks like.
What do you mean? Are you surprised in a good way or in a
Well,
bad way? I'm
in
going
a
to
bad
mute what she
way.
says.
Like I thought it would be more of an upscale neighborhood. The
Well,
dumpster
it's
on
an
the
up-
corner surprises me.
It's an up and coming neighborhood. So
Oh,
apparently,
okay.
yeah, there's like there's some rough areas near some good areas.
I see.
So this is the alleyway that's leading up. So this is the potential path that the killer took. Now, I think there's a good chance that it was.
I was
right
just
here.
gonna say, so that light up there is where the flock camera was, or is it the one on that building? No, the flock camera was to the left, right?
I mean,
Oh,
it could
that's the
be,
cam-
but if that's the camera,
No, because it was by the cars, so it'd be on the other side, wouldn't it?
well, there could have been a car here. But if it's this camera, they were walking away from the house. Let me see what she's saying.
This kind of looks
Okay.
familiar.
But this could be what was across the street.
Oh my God, this is it. You guys, okay. This might be.
Because there's the garbage cans.
Near the
Oh, there's
area.
garbage cans on
Oh
the
my
other
God,
side.
Yeah, there's the garbage cans right there.
Might be the camera right
Sorry.
there. Okay. Hear me out for a second. We're going to have to check this tonight against the footage that's out there. But there is a part in the footage, right, where there is a door with a mailbox and it has a cute little window like that.
Let me pull that up.
Okay.
Yep, it's right there.
There it is. So it was
Yep.
across the street, I thought. So yeah.
So this is on the way to their house. This is right before they get to their house.
Wow.
Wrong button. I minimized the wrong thing.
That's okay. Like,
So
why am
yeah,
I looking at myself like
Door
that?
does. There's also that one. But if you look closely at this door, there's a doorbell camera that's no longer there.
oh, interesting. The doorbell camera
Well,
that's no longer there.
just like with Kohberger, we remember that. They took it off all the houses, all the cameras.
Yeah, so
They were
they
there
got
one day,
video of
saw
this
the
guy
next.
very close.
Yeah.
So why are they sending us the one from the top? They might
Because
have
they
more
have
information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same story. We know this. We know this very well. They have to drop us a little bit of cheese here and there, you know, just because, so it doesn't blow up into a kind of situation like Kohberger, because they didn't give us anything then, and everybody was kind of like, what is happening? This is not right. So they got to
Yeah.
give the public something to let us know that they are working on it, I think. But I think you're right with how you were saying, like, just, you know, the fact that they are dropping that video kind of insinuates that they aren't getting very far with the scorn lover theory.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that I don't know. I'm open to everything yet at this point, guys. This is way early in this case, so I'm
Yeah.
not, you know, there's no way anybody's going to come into like a case that they're covering and say, "Oh, I know what happened day one." If they did and they stick to it, you're following the wrong channels. You know, you got to follow the evidence. You got to
Well,
follow
and
the
I'm
evidence.
over here like, it's a scorn lover.
Right. You're like, listen to me.
Listen to me. I know what it is. Good night. It's done.
Right. So yeah, you know, me, it could be a lot of things, and I'm not excluding anything as of yet, except the murder suicide. I think that's obvious.
Right.
So I'm wondering if they took the nest. Then there's also a camera up here.
That's the camera.
Oh,
And there's
that
supposed to be-
one.
Yeah, it's right there. That's the camera that caught
Oh,
it.
okay. So it wasn't the flock. Okay.
Is that a
Well, this is
tow
the
way?
one in the
Is it a
alleyway.
tow way? Well, they're all towaways. They're all like probably for college kids.
Did she say
I-
college kids?
Or just because a couple went by,
Yeah.
I was like, am I allowed to bark?
So this is a college neighborhood. I did not know that
Got a
either.
party hat back there.
It could be.
So he was having a good time. Sorry, I'm shaking a little bit. It's kind of chilly out. It was.
So look at the roads now.
okay.
Even if he was
It's
trying to
still
change
the
his
blood, the
gait,
difference in heat.
I mean, there's nothing for him to change. There's no footsteps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he's concerned about the camera capturing
Yeah.
his gait. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily the footsteps. It's the way he walks.
Right.
Like if you look
Yeah,
at Bryan
so-
Kohberger, the way he walks, and if we had video of him walking up to the scene,
Right.
I think it'd be pretty obvious that there's a good comparison there, because
Yeah.
we've seen him walking in the courtroom, and and a lot of people assumed he had maybe some shackles on his legs, but since then we've seen video of him in stores and things of that nature, and he's walking in the same manner.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see.
On
what's-
those doors. Everybody should have a Ring doorbell camera at least. They're not that expensive for peace of mind. You know who's coming up to your house. You know, if you don't want to answer the door, you don't have to. You're like, oh, that's just Betty from down the road. I'm not answering. It's 61. It's supposed to be like 50 here. So I'm looking for.
So
I was
now
looking
you're
for
getting
cameras,
to
and I was
the
looking for
home
actually
side.
that where the suspect, I think he was a suspect, walked through.
And it was garbage night that night, so the
Right.
trash came and got
This is
picked
the
up the
house
very
coming up.
next morning.
This isn't it
That's
here,
true.
but there is a camera right there.
Good chance that's where the gun is.
It could be. I think the person still has it. Could have discarded it somewhere else, but I think they may still have it. But here's another camera. Another one.
But like, and I know, and she did a great job, and this is awesome that she went there, you know, but what would have been nice if she looked left and right so we could see how easily it is to walk through these garages, and if the person would have had easy access to kind of
Going that way.
disappear in between these garages, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I hope she turns here when they get to her house, to their house. I'm not sure.
I am gonna drive around that a lot and look.
Like, she shouldn't be
Okay,
doing
this
this
is one-
alone.
wonder
I
if
mean, but I would. So
Okay.
it's like
Yeah.
you see somebody else doing it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so scary, but I would do it.
So you see, you can easily get back there. You can jump back there, but you're gonna have a hell of a time jumping back around.
Yeah.
opened. So
It
that doesn't
depends
open.
though, like,
There's no door.
because I have the same type of fence and there's
There's no door here.
portions you can climb back. I have the
Yeah.
same, yeah. And you do, I mean, you're in Texas. We all have those fences.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
So
my
easy to
fence though,
climb.
like if you're on the inside, it's like with my neighbor, like
Yeah.
on my fences that face like this part that are facing away from my house, they're facing the other way because I don't want anybody to be able to jump
Yeah.
into my yard. But like on my side of the fence between me and my neighbors, they have this part, I have the other part. It would be very difficult for me to jump over it.
But like if you're full of adrenaline and you gave yourself a running start, can't you grab the top and just kind of give yourself a one over? Like I could, and I've got a broken back. Like I could
Right.
figure
No,
it
I
out
don't.
if
I
I was
don't.
running, and just killed 2 people, I'd be like, all right, deal with it and do it. And I'd just be like, and I'd grab the top and I'd shimmy it's wood, like
Yeah.
you could shimmy yourself over and just climb over. It's not like, it's not plastic to where you'd slide off of it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. It's but I would assume that there's going to be some markings up against. You had some black shoes or black boots.
Yeah.
Up against that, you're going to see where he jumps up and he's going to kick the fence.
I
And
just saw one of your people say, I keep telling her to stop going alone, Casey
Yeah.
Marie. Yeah, it's true. That's so funny.
Yeah. Let's continue.
Like I said, I didn't see a door, so maybe it's up front. Let's go around through the front.
Maybe
Because I
there's.
didn't get to go all the way up front when those gentlemen were, here moving them. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I'm in the right spot, I feel like. So I'm going to go back. I think that where those houses were, or those apartments, did you see that with the window?
I'm just
I think that
surprised
might
so
have
many
been it,
shots
where that guy was walking.
were taken
But I thought there was
and
concrete. That's so
nobody heard
weird.
anything.
Yeah.
Imagine if it's like a road
So
over.
what if if he or she used a silencer, we wouldn't know that, right? You wouldn't. I don't
Silencers
know.
are kind of loud still.
All right. But so my
It's-
question is if somebody uses a silencer, does that show somehow on ballistics?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to get with a firing expert, handgun expert.
Yeah, so
I got a
wasn't-
buddy
that
of
was-
mine who's really into it, so I'll ask him.
Or maybe somebody in chat can, if they know, but that was something I was wondering too, like, can they tell by the casings that a silencer was used,
Yeah.
Or like, but if they found the obviously they probably have the bullets, but you know what I mean? Also, if they took a pillow and did one of those things, would they tell us, the public, citizens, that we found the pillow that was used and that's why the kids didn't hear, or are they going to be like, they don't need to know?
I don't think a pillow is going to do much noise damage, but and then for 6 shots, if there was 5
okay, yeah,
into the
that's-
doctor, that's going to be that
just-
pillow would be destroyed.
That's too many feathers. Yeah, they would. And I imagine like the people that, like the coworkers and stuff, we probably would have heard something from them too about it was a mess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What is she pointing to over
Oh,
here?
that is from all the way down here.
I think there's a camera
from
right there.
Chittenden
Oh, okay.
to Summit, which is all the way back there. And there's still flowers up there. I think my flowers are up there.
Oh,
I'll show it to you. Okay, and the door doesn't curve. Okay, so I thought the door curved. So there's flowers here.
But see how like there's nobody parked here. Maybe down the street, but there's hardly anybody parked right here. The foliage from the trees are gone because of the winter.
yeah.
Somebody walking down this direction or somebody leaving the house out of the front door or the side, I think would have been captured on that camera. And I mean, this guy was aware of the cameras in the back, in my opinion. It's still interesting that he went through the back door, but I think that was his plan.
Yeah. But it seems like that's just the common, maybe that would give like a hint that this is a local and that it's a local person that knows the ins and outs of that neighborhood. And that's the primary, point of entrance and exit for this neighborhood, Like we have a lot of neighborhoods out here. I don't know how it's like over there for you, but we have neighborhoods over here that the main, you pull in from the back and that's where your garage is. And even though in the front of your house looks very nice and it looks like you should go in through the front door, but really there's like this alleyway in the back and that's where you drive in and you pull in through your garage and you go in, through your door that way. And that's really how the main, point of entrance and exit of the house is through the back. But nobody really knows that unless you live here. Does that make sense? How I explain that? Because I didn't understand it until I moved to Texas, and I never understood how people got into their houses until I went to somebody's house that lived like that. That's true.
No, I understand. I get it. Yeah. And somebody from the area too would make sense why there's not like a car captured leaving the area.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing too is maybe this person ran, hid in the car and waited until, the morning and more vehicles were being driven around and left with, hiding in the mix of all the vehicles. But that's ballsy to do, to stay at the scene and hide there thinking that nobody heard the gunshots, just hoping, you know what I'm saying?
I know. Like,
let's see if she looks at the front door here.
Look at all those.
I can't wrap my head around this one.
I thought the door curved.
It's weird.
It is. But it doesn't. But in my head, in my brain,
Well, let's see the door.
He could have picked that door right there, that lock on that balcony door. I don't know how you really squeeze in there, but you could.
Wait, can you pause it for a second?
Have a simply safe.
Do you see this comment? I don't know. It says from Linder Lou 2763, probably was there at the gathering a month ago, hence the 911 call. Something happened that night morning. Very familiar with the home. Is this person saying they were there?
No. What they're saying is that 911 call that we listened to earlier from somebody that may have been taking edibles. Could they have been at the gathering? And that's what made him familiar with the home. It's possible.
The person of interest.
Right.
Okay,
That the person of interest may have been at a gathering there.
Gotcha.
It's possible. It definitely is.
And just has an issue and is resolving it with this crime from that.
Possibly.
Yeah, of course. It's definitely plausible because we just don't know how much people harbor grudges.
Yeah. And then there's this door here. Now this door here, we looked at the inside of the house last time I was on, and this goes to the the living area. And so I can see how somebody may forget to lock this door.
All right.
But I mean, the guy walking in the alleyway, unless he walked all the way around and then came around this way, I don't know. It's unlikely. And then you're walking right in front of the sign that says there's an alarm on the house.
Yeah,
that's weird.
That's where it tells me the familiarity of this person.
Yeah. So let's see
Have
what
a
she
simply safe alarm system. That's really sad. I think those are the flowers I bought with the roses there. And then they have like way more up there.
A lot of people have those signs too, just for
looks to to get somebody to look the other way. I wish you would have looked down here, see if there's I think there's a window here, but
I had the pictures of the whole house. I posted on that group of the whole outside and everything. I don't know if it shows in that.
See, the only thing is so here she's walking on the side. There's no fence there. For somebody to run out the front door and then, well, maybe there is.
There's that fence there. I mean, and see how
not a fence, I meant a gate.
Broken up. That's so easy to climb on the way on the other side too, because there's those in between things. You just grab onto that and jump.
Yeah.
Not that I've climbed a lot of fences.
No, I meant that it doesn't seem like there's an opening, like a gate opening there.
Everything's
okay. I see what you mean.
So this could be a door. This is a door right here.
So right here, there's a door.
That's what I was just looking at. That's definitely a door.
So
there it is. You can see the latch right there. That's a door.
So then the perpetrator would have jumped the fence, possibly, or gone all the way around and it made entry into here. But even at that, again, this is just pointing to this place being very targeted.
Yeah.
To pass by all the houses, to only go to this one, possibly go all the way around.
And it's pretty ballsy to walk around all of this.
Yeah.
It really is to commit a murder like that, leave 2 children in the house and then walk right in between 2 houses through a gate. That's fingerprints too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that this person hopped the fence from the alley, opened up this door, then made entry, then came out this way and ran away.
Wow.
That's a door. I don't know. I personally don't see him coming up front. Really?
Yeah, definitely not.
But I think I could see the person leaving through there because you're going
What
to be
is
stuck in the
what is that
backyard.
on the corner? Is that a house or a store?
This right here,
That,
I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Because you could see
Kinda wanna
a
see what's
billboard or
going on
something
down
in
this
the
road really quick.
front.
Like, I'm wondering if it's like that block over. But I think I'm in the right area. We're gonna go back around.
Looks like a
I'm gonna
little
go right
corner store.
one more.
You know what? I
One
think
more.
it is a store when I was looking at it before.
My little hands
But
are
we
up.
know for sure they have
There's another
cameras.
way.
Yeah.
I was gonna see if it was down here, but it doesn't look like it is. It looks like we were. Oh my gosh, look. There's like books in there.
Oh, a
That's pretty
public
cool.
library.
You can take a book and then put a book. Okay, that's
I'd
really
be looking for the gun in there, honestly.
Franklin Park Conservatory. Yes.
Could be there. Could be still with the person that committed this crime. I definitely think there's that possibility. You know, I'm going to fast forward through this real quick, see if there's anything here that we see her looking back at that area, vehicle passing by. Now, if I was law enforcement, I'd have some cameras checking out the vehicles passing by.
Yeah.
You know, one bet. And this is
They
from
both come back.
Titanium Built. Make sure you go and subscribe to her. I already have. Get her subs up. She's at 23.4 thousand, so we can get her up a little bit higher as well. So overall, I mean, very interesting case. I'm going to continue to cover it. My mind is going a million miles a minute, you know, trying to figure out a couple of these different avenues and being within the realm of plausibility. You know what I mean? But there's definitely a lot of questions. I don't think anything can be ruled out at this time. What do you think?
Well, no, definitely not. I mean, the Big Brother thing, I did read that he was working with a family or like a 12-year-old, and this is, I just read it, so it's not, this is just my opinion or allegedly, like I'm not saying anything is fact. And with this 12-year-old family or this child, the child got attached to him perhaps, and he kind of had to, you know, put a little space in between them. And this kid was like, well, if you don't, or whatever happened, words were said, and those words were, I will kill you. I guess this 12-year-old did say this to Spencer. Whatever happened with that, this is perhaps what made Spencer kind of take a step back from this big brother, big sister program, because he was starting to get threatened with these children. This is just hearsay from what I'm reading in these discussion groups. Other things that I've got is that, you know, the month earlier, we have that 911 call. Also, as we know, this married couple, the Tepes, they have a 17-month-old and a 4.5-year-old child. And so the police, the law enforcement took the children, and they will do like interviews with them, and they will show them pictures and stuff and be like, hey, does this look familiar? That, you know, we know that process. From what I read in a news article, I guess they were showing the 4.5-year-old pictures of something, and, you know, there's pictures that are numbered, like photo number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And from the news article, the source they got from the law enforcement, when they got to picture number 2, this is when the 4-year-old broke down and started crying hysterically. Obviously, I can't tell you what's on picture number 2. I have no idea, but that just tells us there is a reaction when this child was shown pictures in the police.
I haven't seen that article.
I will look for it.
Okay.
I'll backtrack on what I was looking at today, and I will send it to you. The other thing was, I would like to shout out a birthday to my friend Jean, if that's okay. Happy birthday.
Go ahead.
Jean.
Go ahead.
Okay. Happy birthday, Jean. And then the photo number 2, obviously, and then the golden doodle. It's kind of, to me, it's kind of, I don't know. Nobody's mentioned it. Not even during the 911 call, like, hey, we hear a baby crying and the dog's been barking nonstop. You know, what was the dog doing? Maybe the dog's crated. I've got 2 dogs. They're always crated when we're not home or when we're sleeping. So maybe that's just, you know, that's why that's not mentioned at all. And the dog knows nothing. So they can't, you know, we can't worry about the dog. But it's kind of weird. We got another dog. The brother-in-law. Yes, I know. And brother-in-law has been very active. From what I understand, he is not biological brother-in-law. This is a brother-in-law that's been married into the family. Why he has such strong interest in this case? Maybe he's just very family-oriented guy and really wants to protect his family. It happens and it's okay. I think that's all I got.
Interesting. So I've not heard anything about the 12-year-old you mentioned that may have threatened Spencer. I've not heard that. If you can find that, let me know so I can add that to my my list of possibilities. Because, you know, if somebody's threatening him, obviously, then that's something you got to look into. I also hadn't heard anything about the 4-year-old being shown photographs. But if you do get those news articles, please send them to me.
Okay.
You know, the rest. I mean, it is. This case is like I've heard a lot of people say,
old.
Yeah, it's a week old. So it's fairly young. It's not I know that a lot of people want answers really, really fast. Sometimes it takes a little bit. With the brother-in-law, I mean, I'll be honest with you, he's there's going to be a lot of misinformation out there. I mean, I've only been covering cases for a short amount of time, but what I have noticed is that misinformation happens. And what I noticed with family members is sometimes you'll see a family member or two try to get ahead of the misinformation and put out factual stuff. Sometimes that can be perceived one way or another. I know that, like, for instance, the Gonçalves family took a lot of heat for putting out information and things like that. And so in this scenario, I just think that maybe perhaps it's just him trying to correct some of the narrative, you know, especially like the 911 call, for instance. A lot of people that came in a couple of months prior to the murders. You know, some folks were thinking that maybe it was Monique. It could be. It sounds close to me. I'm not going to say it doesn't sound close. I'd be lying if I said, no, I don't sound anything like her. It sounds kind of close to me. Now, what does that mean? Even if it is her, how does that affect this case? It's not like, you know, she mentioned that she was arguing with a third random person, or there was a person that was arguing with her spouse. You know, I think if that was the case, if it was somebody else that was involved in that who wasn't also a victim, then you might have something to be like, all right, this could be worth something. But if there was if there was an argument between 2 of the victims in this case, and it doesn't go anywhere. I mean, I get it's interesting. It's a 911 call, but it's both victims involved in there, not somebody else. If it's in fact that to be the case, I mean, it may not even be her at all. So,
I mean, I get what you're saying, but that would be okay had they not turned up dead 30 days later.
Right. But
You
I
know what I
mean,
mean? Like,
how would, I mean, if we were to play it out, how does, let's just say they got into an argument. How does them two getting an argument equal somebody else taking their lives?
but I mean, because my theory is that there's a lover, and my theory is if this is her, they're probably arguing because either one or the other got stuck with or got caught with something stuck somewhere that didn't belong, you know. And this is a pattern leading up to a vile death of both people now. And from everything that we know, like as true crime, you know, followers and that look into this or you know, just read into it or whatnot, this just right now from what we see looks like a crime of passion. And if we take everything that we have in front of us, like everything that I've written down and looked into and read about and all this, it's too similar to a crime of passion. And then with this 911 call, and if it is her, it looks like they're arguing and she's calling for help. But then he says, hey, I've got a license. I'm a dentist. Do you love your life? Because hang up that call, because once this goes on my record, all of this goes away. So I suggest you tell them you made a mistake or say bye-bye to your life. And she says, I made a mistake. If that's her, it's just a story that is too familiar. Honestly, it's a very familiar story, especially for these women that call and then are told, hey, recant that. It's unfortunate.
No, I get it. And then maybe you're right that somebody found something and that's what led to the argument. But it's still a little bit like, all right, so how does that turn into them? Because it's like, it'd be one thing if, the Sancho, whatever, was like, you need to leave this person, this, that, and the third, and got mad and upset and continue that. You're probably looking at those type of arguments. But I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Somebody asked, how do they know it wasn't somebody committing a murder-suicide? And the way we know that it's not that is because the weapon wasn't there at the residence. It'd be impossible for them to have committed that crime and somebody take their life and then the weapon disappear.
Right. Yeah.
It's just impossible. So the person that committed this crime took the weapon with them. And so we can say that that's not the case. I don't know. I mean, I think there's evidence to say that, it could be a crime of passion. I think there's evidence to say that it could have been, robbery gone bad. I think there's some evidence there for a lot of premeditation. However we look at it, somebody went to a lot of, in my opinion, planning into this case, into this crime. I don't think this was a situation where something happened shortly before that caused this person to go out there and commit the crime. I think this was something planned ahead of time.
I think we need to correct something else. So what we heard with this 911 call from a month ago is that it was a month ago, and from your Maz are letting us know that it was in April. So
yeah, it was a few months.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, it's 10 months ago or like what, 9 months ago?
Yeah.
So it's pretty long ago. So that almost kind of deflates that whole theory too, because a month ago kind of made it seem more,
plausible.
Crap. They're like it seems more like on course with, well, if that was just a month ago, then tempers are still kind of flared and they couldn't get over it. But if that was last April, well, now we got to kind of slow it down and see, well, what happened between now and April. The other thing I was also wondering is what is his practice like? Is it a successful practice or is he in bankruptcy? I think that's something that needs to be looked into as well.
That could be.
Because I thought he was just I thought he only had one partner, but in the beginning of the show, you mentioned that there's several other partners, and I did not know that. So that also kind of, I don't know, kind of rung a bell in my head, like, oh crap, well now it could be a business kind of thing too, because money is, that's the other thing that makes people really pissed off.
Money does. It also makes people jealous and envious, and they want to go and take it. And sometimes toothaches. Yeah, toothaches. Like I said, there's. I think we're still very young in this and very early. There's not a lot of information. As law enforcement drops out information, you guys know me. I'm going to be bringing in the facts and the evidence, and I'm going to try to deduce those things for you guys. Right now, like I said, this screams out premeditation, and outside of that,
do you know if the brother-in-law is from her side of the family or his side of the family?
I don't. I think it's his though. I think it's his brother-in-law.
Okay.
I think that's what I read was his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And so, well, what do you got going on next? What will we see you doing?
Well, that article came out from the Kohberger side of the family. So, I mean, did you read it? That's just.
I did a video on it. I think last night, yesterday, the day before, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been kind of dealing with that a little bit. Nothing really coming out with that yet, but just it wasn't 100% factual from what I know, and I just wanted to, dig into it a little bit more and see, what the premise of it was. So I was just kind of looking into that one a little bit, and that's what I have going on. And then with Crime Scene Collective, we've started several different groups. One is the Brianna Aguilera in Austin, Texas. She's the 17-year-old that right now her death is not characterized as anything because she was jumped from a 17-story building and it's supposedly suicide, but now they're saying they don't know it was characterized as suicide, but then they withdrew that 6 days later, saying they actually don't know if she was pushed or if she jumped. So it's case is open, not knowing what the circumstances were, if it was foul play or if she just, took her own life.
That's a sad story. I know that Busby, I think, is their
Busby lawyer took their case. Yeah, I'm familiar with
I think there was I saw something about it today. And
he yesterday or today he put out another statement.
Something to do with the I guess the amount of alcohol that was being served. And so we'll see. Yeah, I'm interested in that case. That's kind of close to me. I'm out here in San Antonio, so Austin's just up the road.
Yeah.
If you want to come back, we can talk about either this case. We also talk about the Bryan Kohberger case. And
we should definitely circle back. I'd love to talk about the Brianna case too, and we can do the Kohberger and jump back on this when we get some more new developments, because I think in the next few days there'll definitely be something. So we should circle back on that too. And let's do it.
Heck yeah. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to be live again, probably about the same time, about 8 p.m. Central Time. If anything develops in this case, I'll be talking about it. There's some other cases that I've covered. The Lillian Jack Sullivan case, I'm also talking about. The Bryan Kohberger case, we've talked about that extensively. And this one here, if there's some new information or some updates, I'll be bringing it in tomorrow. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, guys. Go check out Crime Scene Collective on TikTok, Facebook. Also check out the Facebook group referencing Spencer and Monique Tepe and the case discussion. You won't be disappointed. Go check it all out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, and go Bills.
Go Steelers. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.